Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Cloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
Hey, Charles, why are we talking so low now all of a sudden?
I was listening back to the latest episode of the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast, starring me, your host, Charles Long, and my co-host, gunner, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Cloth. And, I seem to talk a little too loud in the last episode, so I'm quieting
in
down.
The last episode?
Yeah. Drop off dangerously.
And the one before that?
No, yeah, and the one before that.
Sometimes I use magic to make you quieter. Also known as pulling your level board down, but...
Yeah, good. So I'm just quiet. I'm talking a little quieter today. I'm just being a little quiet. How about you? How you doing?
I'm all right. Are we talking low now?
Yeah, we're talking
getting real deep and dropping a register. Or are we Batman?
I'm not dropping my register. It's right here. It's got all my
talking softly
large bills in it. About to make a purchase on my register.
I hate this.
Okay, we'll talk normal then. What do you wanna do today? What are we doing
it's
today?
episode 80, and on episode 80, we make up things as we go, which is sort of why we're delaying here in the beginning, because we don't want to get into the actual pilot.
Wait, you trying to tell me we haven't been making stuff up on the fly before?
I mean, we generally had an outline usually,
yeah.
And these episodes we have absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
Not even. There's not even any paper on my desk right now. No paper. I mean,
I don't
toilet
even
paper.
own any paper because I don't hate the environment. Also, because I have a computer, and why would I need paper? It's the 21st century.
Paper's good. I have this pumice stone. Katie got me a pumice stone.
I don't know what that means, but we have a pitch to come up with, which means we have to come up with an idea. So last time you had a futuristic apocalypse show in Tube Cities.
Yeah,
and I had
Cities.
I had a Mars sitcom. Yeah. So we should probably do something that isn't the future.
Yeah, something that's in the past.
Fantasy.
Okay, that's actually where I was thinking too. Do you want to do like fantasy with monsters, or fantasy where it's just people?
Monsters are more fun, you know?
Yeah, they are more fun.
Monsters are always they're always evil, you know? That's the way it is. Monsters are bad guys that you gotta slay, right? I've been watching The Witcher. Recently they released season 2.
Oh, I didn't know the second season come out.
And something I really like about The Witcher is, well, right now in the show so far, it's sort of like an A and B story, where like B story is, seems like it's actually important to like the overall narrative, and A story is kind of just sort of a guy going around with another person. I'm being vague because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
Killing monsters and, you know, exploring the world. I think it would be fun if we had like a paid monster slayer. Essentially a Witcher, but we're gonna make it something else because we don't want to copy things.
Yeah.
A paid monster slayer who probably doesn't have any real powers like Witchers do. But I like the idea that they drink potions and stuff to give them like advantages against certain monsters.
Okay.
With an apprentice. And they go around this world that we're about to make up, and they kill monsters and sometimes make friends with monsters.
I think that's a good starting out point. Let's make it weirder, because that's what we do at the show.
That's what you do. That's your job to make it weirder.
So make it weirder. So how about the paid monster slayer, right? He still takes all the potions and is like a fantasy archetype guy. But he's actually from the future, and instead of having like a mystical sword or, you know, magic powers or whatever, he's just got a gun. Like he's just got like a normal, a 21st century gun, like a 9mm, and that's how he kills the monsters. That's his only weapon.
Okay.
And no one else has guns. Nobody else knows he's from the future. He's just the guy who has a gun. And that's how he kills the monsters, with his big gun that he has. Not even a big gun, normal gun. and he uses magic to make bullets. They're not magic bullets, just regular bullets, but, you know.
Okay, I'm following. All right, I've got it. Okay, so the older monster slayer. Mm-hmm. Let's make it a girl. Her name's Luisa, and she is a German scientist from the future.
Okay.
Who accidentally got sent back into the past of this fantasy world.
Yeah.
And now, you know, she has like a gun and other future technology, so she knows how to keep and manage it.
Yeah.
So it's all about her using what technology she can make, and what maybe she's like a chemist or something, and she knows how to mix certain chemicals to kill certain monsters. You know, like she can make acid or something. And people all think it's sort of like fancy alchemy and magic and stuff she's doing, but really she just knows science. Yeah. In this fantasy world, we can make up our own kind of science because it's like a fantasy world with monsters. So she knows like how to mix, you know, two elements together to make like a big firebomb or something. You know?
Yeah, something explosive. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that would be good. I like it. Luisa coming back from the future. She's German, because why not? She's German. She comes back from the future. I'm assuming it's like normal our future, and then she goes back in time, and it's like there is magic that exists, and she's just like baffled, but using her scientific know-how to, like, you know, kick magic's ass.
Survive. Yeah, because, you know, science does beat magic sometimes. So
yeah, especially when it comes to like reality. You know. Because people believe in magic, right? In fiction, magic is very powerful. In reality, magic is the least powerful thing. It's not powerful at all, you know? So I'm thinking we have the science be as powerful as the magic. Because usually in like a you know, in a fantasy setting like this, the technology is very, you know, ancient, and it's not very good, and it breaks down all the time, right? So I think we have Luisa be, she's basically like a level 100, you know, necromancer powers. Like, she's really powerful, but she's just got like a gun and like a cell phone, and and you know, I don't know what else she could have, like a flint and steel. Nah, you can make that in the past. She's got a multi-tool.
Well, she can sort of make whatever she needs. Maybe she just starts off with, you know, her knowledge and like her lab coat, and that's, you know, it. So she makes her own gun. But, you know, because she's from the future, the only way she knows how to make a gun is to make like a classic 9mm. Maybe she brought a gun with her, because that'd be easier. Then she wouldn't have to make a gun. So she had a gun with her when she went through the teleporter.
Maybe some monsters came out of the teleporter and started attacking her and her team of scientists in the future, you know?
Yeah.
And then she, you know, grabbed a gun off the ground and started shooting at the monster to get it to go away.
But then she shot the machine and it exploded and sent her into the past.
Yeah, she got sent into the past, and maybe we can have a subplot that one of the monsters just got put into the future. But, like, it's just running around. Like, maybe it's like a horrible, like... No, it's like a horrible, like, 10-limbed tentacle monster, but it's like it's just started a job at, like, a diner.
Yeah, and it's like way in the future, so they're really progressive, and everyone just accepts the monster.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, nice to meet you, Slurpglock. I'm Dave. I'm gonna be your customer today. That's how people talk in the future now.
Yeah, in the future in Germany, they speak English. Anyways. Okay, and so we have to give her like an apprentice, because it adds like a nice relationship, and also I think it'd be fun if, you know, her science becomes like an accepted magic style. Yeah. And people like want to learn it from her. So maybe we have like a young student at a, you know, a very young student at a magic primary school, and you know, they're picking their like version of magic, and her form of magic, science, has just been like officially decided to be like one of the 12 forms of magic or whatever that students can pick, but no one picks it, and she had to like do some paperwork to officially like make science a form of magic, so that she could use it and get access to like clubs and stuff, like magic people clubs, like the like sky lounges at airports, essentially the same thing. But what ends up happening is that she gets like an intern, essentially, because this one person picks science as their form of magic, and so she has to take on an intern.
Maybe it's like that thing that happens when you're signing up for classes in uni, where this was the last. This person, let's name him right now, Reginald. Reginald slept in on the day, so he got to he showed up last at like picking magical schools, and every other one was full. So they just had to do, he had to do the one science one. I was like, fine, I'll do this for a semester.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, she's
I'll
working
call him Reg for short.
Yeah, let's call him Reggie. Reggie, Reginald. We got names. And then I think she should have, and I'm assuming she's got like a house in a town, and I'm assuming we like jump forward. She's just gotten sent to the past, and is like, there, and she's like, what the fuck? And then we cut, 2 years later or whatever, or 7 months later.
Yeah.
And she's got like an apartment, and she's got a workshop, and she's like signed up with the Magic Guild. Mm-hmm. And we can do a flashback to how she got into the Magic Guild, and she just like shot a guy. She was like, you have
damn,
to do
that was pretty cool. Well, we said a demonstration. We didn't mean kill someone. Oh my god. Everyone's screaming. Holy
you have
shit.
You have to do a duel with like the top wizard and the thing.
That would be amazing. It's like we have this awesome scene where it's like, I am Balthazar, creator of death, destroyer of worlds, and he's like shooting fire, and she's like she's wearing like ragged clothes. Her lab coat is scorched. She has like baggedy eyes. And she's like, I'm Luisa, and he's like, prepare to die, and he's like about to shoot a massive fireball, and she just shoots him in the head. right in the chest. He's like, he coughs up blood, and he falls over. Yeah, it's very similar to that Indiana Jones scene.
Yeah,
Rise of the Lost Ark.
And then like snakes crawl out of his mouth because he was an evil wizard or whatever. We're gonna have it be fun.
And then all the other wizards are like, oh my god, you killed the evil Balthazar who controlled the council and was probably about to create a reign of tyranny forever. Yay.
Yeah. Good job. And she's like, yeah, cool. You guys have like a cell phone, or you got a charger for this thing? Like a plug?
Does anybody have any, this whole magic thing, does it work in any way that could send me back to the future?
Hey, yeah. Anyone have a USB-C cable? Because I left mine at home. They're like, here's gold pieces. Here's all your electrum. And a mystical sword that shoots lightning out of the tip. And she gets it, it's just a taser. He's like, oh, this is useless. And now she does. She gets a magic sword, and she tries to use it. Maybe she can't use any magic stuff because she's like covered in technology.
Because she doesn't have any magical powers.
Yeah,
she doesn't actually have any magic, so she can't use magical stuff.
Yeah, and then she's like, "All right, thanks." And then we cut to she's got her workshop. Maybe she's got like a magic creature running on a wheel. And that's powering like a cable that she's wired into her phone.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be funny if she had a medieval phone charger.
Yeah, she has like, maybe she fashioned the gold, because gold's conductive, I think, of electricity, into like a cord. So she like melted the gold, which is supposed to be money, into like a cord and uses it to charge her phone.
Yeah. And she can't even, there's no internet or anything, so she just uses her phone for, like, games.
Yeah, take photos.
She's got like two albums of music.
I'd like to think she has, like, she created the internet, but it's just her on the internet. Yeah. She has, like, a blog, and she has, like, an Instagram where she takes pictures of her food, but it's just her. That's all it is.
It's just there's no one else on the internet.
And she's the only artist.
She's the only artist, only listener. She gets the Spotify Wrapped.
It's like you're in the top 0.0001% of listeners.
Yeah, good job, congratulations. And like we're gonna send you an email, and she gets emails, but they're only from herself.
Yeah.
She only gets emails from herself, and what would be a funny thing if she got like spam emails from one future company? Like somehow they're sending emails back in time just to like, hey, there's a 60% off sale.
Wayfair. They're selling chairs. Wayfair. They're trying to get my chairs. They're like, hey, 60% off. She's like, what do they do? And then how do they do this? And she'll buy a chair on Wayfair and send it to someone in the future or something.
Yeah.
And we can do it. She's like, when I'm bored, I do this. And it just like, we cut to like somebody to that monster in the future. He's like, I keep getting all these chairs. I don't know what it is. Somebody keeps saying,
I don't even have an ass. I can't sit in them. I'm a monster. I can't sit in chairs. I just lie down on the floor. That's all I do. That's the only thing I can do. They're like, you can return them for store credit. Like, look at me. It's a horrible, grotesquerie. And they're like, I can't get store credit. I don't have a car. I don't have an account. I don't even have an email address. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Works as a waiter at
a diner.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got like gross tentacles, so he like whenever he picks up the food, it just like leaves a slimy trail all over it. But everyone's like too polite to say anything,
so people don't mind because they're like, "Oh, it's kind of good." And also, he can hold a lot of plates because he's got a lot of tentacles.
So many plates, bro.
Holds the record for most plate holding.
Most plate holding done by a biped because he's not a human. But he's got 2 legs, and his 2 legs are just 2 little tentacles that he's like tiptoeing on.
All right, so we got Luisa. She's in her workshop. Pilot episode is her getting transported into the past.
The past.
And then we'll see like a flash forward to Reginald doing his class selection, and he picks science stuff, and he gets there, and he's like,
oh god,
this isn't what I thought it would be. I hate it. And she's like, well, I don't want you here either. Please leave. I'll give you an A if you just don't come. And he's like, sure. Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Sounds good. I like it. But maybe he sees something. Maybe he's like fascinated at first, but then she tries to explain it. And it's like, yeah, there's sodium and, decarboxylate and, pentothal, and he's like, I don't know any of these words. We would just say Latin backwards and shit would happen. I don't want to know any of this crap.
Yeah, he gets kind of screwed over because all other forms of magic are kind of easy, and she probably tries to explain this to him. It's like, yeah, look, all right, magic compared to this is super easy, all right? You just say some words backwards and you like feel it, and that happens. I went to school for like 13 years for this shit, okay? You're not going to get it in like a day.
It's gonna be difficult.
I can tell you a few tricks, but this is some hard stuff.
This is hard science right here. And then, we do a montage of him like trying out different, science stuff. You can get him like mixing a potion and it explodes in his face. We could get him. He's trying on a bulletproof vest, and she's testing it on him. So we just have her shoot him in the chest, and he's like, ow! He looks, he's not hurt, but he's like, oh, fuck, that hurt. If I just had a magic shield, none of this would be a problem. And he throws up because he's just got...
he becomes like a test dummy for all of her experiments.
Yeah. And he's like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. And she's like, fine, I didn't even want an apprentice. Get out of here, And so he leaves,
but as he walks away, maybe he says something like, well, fucking science is stupid anyway. And he walks out the door. And the bully who picked on him back in school that we mentioned earlier, back when he was, in school picking his classes, is out and pushes him to the ground. It's like, hey, I've got magic now or whatever, because I'm learning from Destructor, and he teaches fire magic, and it's cool, and he says some words in Latin backwards and shoots a fireball at our Reginald.
Yeah, shit's rad.
But, you know,
Luisa,
Luisa shows up and blocks the fireball with a weird foam, which is a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, she just uses a fire extinguisher, blows it in his face. I was like, yeah.
And then he's trying to use his fire, but it's not
science.
working because he's covered in fire extinguisher foam.
Yeah, and she's like, get the hell out of here. And then she throws a rock at him. Not everything has to be science, and she throws a rock at his head.
Yeah.
That's what we call kinetic energy, all right? Now, I haven't thrown this rock. This is potential energy. And then she gets into a science rant, and he's like, fine. I'll learn some science, because that was pretty cool what you did when you made him piss his pants, because you threw a rock at his head. But, there's so many numbers. I only learned how to count to 12, because this is a medieval society.
And that's how the first episode can end, with like him deciding to, you know, stick on as her intern apprentice thing. And then the next episode, we can reveal that she doesn't, like, get any money from the school for, like, technically being a professor. Like, she gets a little bit, you know? But it's not enough to fund her immense needs as a scientist. And she's trying to build, like, a portal home and stuff as well. So, you know, she's got a lot going on, needs more money. And so she takes on these, like jobs, whether it's, you know, hunting monsters or, like, solving mysteries or whatever. She's kind of just, like, the problem solver of this world.
Yeah. She's figured out that all of these wizards and magicians and stuff, they're all really whiny. And, you know, you don't actually need to know a spell or know how to do, like, wiggly wobbly hand motions or have the amulet of eternal damnation or whatever. You can just get rid of these monsters. It's not even like, it's like pest control.
Yeah.
And it's not even really that big a deal. The wizards just make it out to be a bigger deal than it actually is, because
maybe she has like a best-selling book for like, it's like how to kill monsters for non-magicians. It's like how do you like, you know, it's like a book on how to use science to kill these monsters. And she, like, you know, maybe she's selling that as she goes. It's not very popular. Maybe it's not best-selling, but she's trying to get people to, you know, get this book, because everyone just worried, like, it's like, oh, we need a mage to take out the monsters. And she's like, you can do it yourself. And so as she's going to these towns, she's like trying to sell people her book.
I bought 3 copies and I can't even read. It's such a good book. Because no one can read in medieval society. So she'd be like, oh shit.
Didn't think this through.
I'll make we'll have a picture version. We'll have you know what? Next year, picture book version coming out. Just for you. My biggest fan, Jamothy. Jamothy's just a redneck who lives in the outskirts of town.
Who had a
and who's constantly trying to build his own gun, because rednecks love guns, but he's just constantly blowing fingers off. So at the beginning of the season, he's got 10 fingers, and by the end, he's got like 6. And he's like, I can do it. I got it now. And he shoots, and he's got his gun that he's built, and he shoots it, and it, you know, blows an eye out of his head. Yeah. He's like, oh darn, I got started on the drum board again. And, you know, gets started again. Yeah. We can have her going. Should we have her be at home base? Should she go back to her apartment every week, or should it be like she's going travel?
Maybe it's like, you know, every 2 episodes she goes home or something like that. 2 or 3.
Or maybe we could get her, like, after the first couple of episodes. We have, like, a first few episodes where she's, you know, going on adventures and then coming back home or solving problems around the town. And she's, like, starts showing up these, you know, snooty, highfalutin wizards and magicians at the guild, you know, that she's technically a part of, but none of them like her. So she's, like, showing them up and making them look like idiots. So they, like, do a mystical raid. And they're just like, we're gonna burn your fucking house down and blow up all your shit. Yeah. And she's able to use her science to, like, you know, stop them, because she's got a gun and she just shoots guys. And, you know, then she gets in, like, a cart, and, you know, she's got her entire workshop in a cart, and then they start leaving, you know? Yeah. And I think she should have some sort of magic pet that has all of these weird mystical, like, qualities that she doesn't understand.
Maybe she has like a parrot-sized phoenix pet. That that was the pet that was like running on the wheel, or in this case, I guess like flying on the wheel or something. I don't know. Yeah. So to like generate electricity. So it charges her phone. Yeah. Maybe it can like, I don't know. It can do the phoenix thing where it burns out and stuff and gets reborn.
Yeah. But she doesn't know it's a phoenix, so every time it dies like once every couple of episodes. It gets run over by like a truck or like hit by a windmill or shot out of the air with an arrow, and she's like crying and really sad about it. And then, the next scene, the bird's just there and she's like, oh, hey, what's his name? What's the bird's name? Joaquin. Can we name it Joaquin? Why not?
Because that's too long.
Joaquin.
The pet's gotta have short names.
But Joaquin, like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do, Charlie. maybe we sure, fine, we can do Joaquin. I don't know if we're gonna sell Joaquin plushies though,
Why not?
It's too long of a name. If it was cuter of a name, then sure, maybe.
We'll call him Waka Waka for short. Waka Waka. That's his catchphrase. He doesn't know any words. He just says Waka Waka.
You're not gonna sell any plushies with this thing for sure.
No.
I'm gonna buy them all. Cute name, and you would have nailed it. We would have sold 1 billion plushies.
How about new name? The Phoenix's name is Baby Yoda.
All right, we're done with you. So, looking at me interesting. So we have like the first half of season 1 is adventures, right, with her and Reginald, and they have a home base.
Yeah.
That's sort of like the idyllic time, And then we fall into the other mages are sort of conspiring against her because while they fear her because they don't understand her science thing, there's sort of a plot developing where they recognize that she doesn't actually have magic. Whatever she's doing isn't magic.
Maybe they have like a guy who's like, my ability is I can sense magical energies wherever it is, even if it's hidden from me.
Yeah.
And I sense no magical energies from her whatsoever. I don't know what that boom boom hand explosive thing was, but I know it ain't magic.
Yeah. And so that's why they're conspiring against her, and that's why they attack her. And so when they destroy her base, she has like now a new like quest, which is to go to the big mountain where all the wizards live. We'll call it Wizard Mountain. Go to Wizard Mountain and confront the council.
Blow it up.
And probably blow it up. That'd be cool. She just like fills it with builds a hydrogen bomb and blows up the mountain.
She's like, we could have her like as they're journeying, she's working on a secret project, and it's hinted at what it is, but they're never shown. And then in the final episode, it's like, it was an explosive.
Yeah.
I made a fucking huge bomb.
Maybe it'll be like they escape the mountain and they're at the bottom of the mountain, and there's like all these the wizards. They start like at the top of the mountain. They're like forming this gigantic like explosive bolt or ball or something, and they're gonna shoot it at her at the bottom of the mountain, and it's gonna like wipe out the whole countryside. And she just holds up a little switch and says like, if you guys don't stop, I'm gonna press this button. And they're like, there's nothing you can do, this is like the Magna Ball, it's the greatest power in all of the wizarding world, you have no chance. And then she presses the button, and an atomic bomb goes off and destroys the mountain.
And the mountain's blown up and they're all dead, and it's and
she puts on a pair of sunglasses and then presses the button, and they're like, how did you get one of those? She's like, don't worry about it, I needed to look cool.
I scienced them. And then Reginald's like, what the hell was that? And she could just be like,
magic.
It was magic, baby.
Yeah, like I had the same idea.
Yeah. And what should all right. What should she fight along the way? What monsters are we thinking? Because I think it should be like, we should do fun plays on monsters. Like, what if there's a werewolf that's attacking a town, right? And a werewolf is always a dude. It's always a person. And it's like, oh, this is actually it's a pig. A pig got scratched by a werewolf. So every once a month it turns into a werewolf and eats all of its friends, and then turns back into a pig. So no one
so
can
it's not
figure it
killing
out.
people, it's killing like other animals, and it's like, you know, going into houses and like eating food, but it's still terrorizing the populace. And they sort of figure out like through the investigation of like, this thing hasn't killed anyone.
Yeah. And it's and it loves rolling around in dirt and mud.
It's dragging a lot of mud into these houses. It's kind of a problem.
Yeah. And then they find it, and then, you know, they find out, they see the werewolf, and it's, you know, they're hunting it throughout the night. She's got silver bullets. Yeah. She's shooting them, and it's like, oh, these silver bullets are shit. I didn't count on the weight difference that silver bullets would have versus lead bullets, and now they just go out of the gun. They don't go very far, and so she's had a very hard time hitting the beast.
Does silver weigh less than
or maybe she
lead? I don't think that would also affect it. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Maybe she like
Reginald
thinks that silver would work because that's what movies told her, and it just doesn't.
Yeah. Or maybe we get Reginald. It's like his first time making bullets, because making bullets is a big part of her thing. So he's making bullets, and, you know, he makes them out of silver, because it's like, we're fighting a werewolf, gotta make bullets out of silver. And then we get onto the thing, and the silver bullets just bounce off the werewolf, and she's like, what's wrong with my bullets? Like, they're silver. You made silver bullets, you fucking idiot? No, we need bullets.
We need lead
like bullets.
Those work.
Bang.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And then, you know, she's chasing them. They're chasing him through the night. You know, maybe Reginald has... What should Reginald's weapon be?
Staff, like a magic
he gets a
staff,
taser.
maybe? Oh. Because he actually has magic, I thought. Or, no.
Oh, that is true. He does have magic.
So maybe he has like a magic staff, but he uses, you know... he uses science too, so maybe he has like a...
Maybe he's got like, it's a mystical staff.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the mystical staff of illumination. And he, you know, pulls it out, and it's just like a wooden stick with a light bulb on the end.
Yeah.
And there's like a switch halfway through, and that's how he's like, whoa, I got you. I'm gonna get you. And that's his weapon. He just hits people with a stick. Yeah. And then they you know, encounter it, and the moon goes away, and they turn back in the, you know, werewolf turns back into a pig, and then they both look at each other and look at the pig. The pig looks at the camera, and then we cut, and they're eating breakfast, and they got bacon on the side.
Oh my god.
You know. And then we pan over, and they've transmorphed this pig into a dude, and the pig dude's eating the bacon too.
Okay, that's pretty fucked up.
This is pretty good.
That's pretty messed up.
I was just.
I would like it if,
don't have to
like,
do that
she does though. Like a lot of these monsters, she just cures them. Like whatever it is usually just a disease, and she can just use biology to fix it. So maybe they find like a horrific, like vampire type monster. And it's like, you know, super strong or something, and she hits it with like a weighted net and locks it down, and Reginald rushes up with like a stick and is gonna stab it. She's like, whoa, no, and she like stops him. She's like, have you read the book?
Are you doing?
Yeah. He's like, what? The book? Haven't you read my book? He's like, no. He's like, we have one textbook in this class and you haven't read it? Like, it's not even that long. It's like 100 pages. It's not hard.
It's not. I made sure to have a picture book edition for people who
like,
can't
what
read.
Are you talking
man,
about?
Come on.
She's like, okay, literally, chapter 1, the first chapter. So all you do is start with the book. Is that vampires? You know, it's actually easy to deal with them. They're cursed. Yeah. All you have to do is cursed. It's an illness. All right. You just have to feed them some rosemary and some wolfsbane. Those are classics.
Yeah. Those are classic
and like
things,
in like a milk
garlic
stew, and they'll be fine.
Yeah,
she's like, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be.
Yeah, and what do you always kill werewolves? And he's like, yeah, we probably killed 100 werewolves in my village growing up. And he's like, my mom got turned into a werewolf, and he's like, you killed your mom? Oh my god.
Jesus, dude.
Or not a werewolf, sorry,
cool.
a vampire. I don't know why I switched.
Yeah,
and he's
whatever.
Like, it's like, wow, that's really, all you had to do was just feed him this and you would have been all right. And he's like, oh my god. He's like rethinking his life, thinking of all the vampires he's killed and all of his friends.
He just like sits down and he's like holding his light bulb staff and he's
as she just like makes the little stew and feeds it to the vampire and it turns back into a regular dude. He's like, oh my god, thank you.
And he's just like, I gotta think about some things. I'll go back to I'll go back on Monday. I'll see you on Monday. And he just wanders into the woods and you see the light bulb go out and he's just sad.
Maybe it's not his mom. Maybe it was like his friend or something. Mom's maybe a little too messed up.
Yeah. His, let's say, school teacher.
Yeah, he killed his school teacher because she was a vampire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe she can cure a few. And then maybe also I think a fun one would be if she finds like some horrific like tree monster that's like terrorizing people. But she just learns like its language. Like she translates it to English or whatever. And
maybe it only speaks sign language.
Yeah, she's like signing to it. And she just explains like peace to it. And it's like, oh yeah, I can be chill with that. That's good. And it just becomes like a functioning member of this community because she explained the concept of society to it. Yeah, so we could do like, I think that's a pretty good show. So we have half the first season is just these fun adventures. Then we have the journey to the Wizard Mountain, and then she blows it up with the nuke.
Just blows it up, and then we cut, and it's like 3 weeks later. She blows it up with the nuke. Maybe not a nuke because I don't want to leave like radiation. It would be pretty funny if we just had a mushroom cloud.
Because it's such a huge demonstration of power. Like to anyone else, like any other magician, they'd think she's like God after she did that. Like she just blew up the mountain and she leveled it completely. So it's like an atomic bomb, not like a thermonuclear bomb. So it's not as big, but still, devastating.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And she's just like, whatever. And maybe we show, like, we have Reginald at the end, like, she just blew up the bomb. And Reginald says something very scientific, Like, he's actually been paying attention. And he's like, oh, was that a, atomic explosion caused by the splitting of an atom? And she looks over at Adam, and she's like, yes, it was. Yes, it was, Reggie. Good job. Yeah, it's good. Smart kid. And then, we have them walk off, and we have a song playing. What song do we have playing?
I fought the law, and the law won.
The law won. I fought the law, and the law won. I'm trying to think. Are there any songs about magic? There has to be magic songs, right? There's a song about magic.
Not one that I can think of that's any good.
Wait, well, let's think about a song that's about a bomb.
About a bomb?
Yeah.
There's probably plenty of songs that are not very nice about bombs.
That's true. But I'm trying to think what would be good. We have that. We have Luisa. She's a fan of a certain band, like a very like 21st century or 20th century band. Like she's like really big into Led Zeppelin, and so she has like the final scene is her and Reggie in a bar where she's made friends with everybody in the bar.
Yeah.
And so they've got a Led Zeppelin cover band. that sings like
Led Zeppelin hasn't existed yet.
Yeah, but she's like she knows everything, so she's like, all right, you go here and you play this like this, and you go here and you hit the drums like that and that, and she's like got them all dressed up in the Led Zeppelin gear. Maybe we have David Bowie. She's a big David Bowie fan, so we have like she gets like one of those shapeshifters that are in these universes, these fantasy universes. She's like, can you look like this? And she takes out her wallet, and in her wallet is just a picture of David Bowie. Yeah. She's like, look like that. All right, sing this. And she takes out a full lyric sheet of David Bowie's like Starman or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it would be good if she like she made a cover band for a 20th century band. I
think that'd be hilarious. And she like made guitars and drums, like, because they don't exist in this universe, and taught people how to play them, just so hear the music she likes.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, cool, good job. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just what song do we want to have playing at the end? Let's have a funny David Bowie song. Let's have
funny David Bowie song.
Yeah. I mean, not many of his songs are funny, but they're weird.
Andy Warhol.
I think we have, like...
No regard for my comment.
The ones with the Ziggy Stardust. We have Ziggy Stardust.
No regard for my comment.
I don't know that song. But
you don't know Andy Warhol?
No. I don't like Andy Warhol very much.
That's a song about Andy Warhol.
Good.
He also has a song for Bob. What about that? A song about Bob Dylan.
Okay. Sure.
It's not very good.
Okay, well, maybe not.
It's like in the style of Bob Dylan, but he's not Bob Dylan. So
he's not Bob Dylan. You really have to be Bob Dylan to write a song like Bob Dylan.
What about The Man Who Sold the World?
Okay, yeah. How about The Man Who Sold the World? And our last, final, most important part of the podcast that we often forget to do. Which characters are we playing in this show?
Well, we obviously can't be any of the two main characters.
Yeah,
we need a little boy and a girl. So
we're not a little. We are neither little boys nor are we females. Can I play the wizard, the like dark evil Slytherin wizard who gets shot on the first episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, good. Who do you want to play?
I'd like to be the tree that learns about peace.
Okay, good. Yeah. Peace,
Who
man.
learns English and develops a perfect American accent immediately.
Yeah, that'd be good. Everybody else has British accents, but you have an American accent. And she's German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, why do you speak like that? You remind me of something when you speak like that. Like,
you remind me of TV America show. What's a good American accent? You remind me of Knight Rider. Yeah, sure. Knight Rider. You know Knight Rider.
I would have said like a sitcom. That's something more popular, so that more people would get the joke.
You remind me of David Hasselhoff from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
She's from the future. Okay, whatever. We're fine.
All right, this has been the conclusion of our newest...
The David Hasselhoff podcast.
Yeah, of the David Hasselhoff cast. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your dog, tell them all. Tell them all about David Hasselhoff and tell them about the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles Long. With me as always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. Thank you very much. We love you all. By we, I mean I do. Jake tells me in private how much he hates our listenership.
We don't talk in private.
We don't. Everything we say is recorded. All right, goodbye.